Hello, I'm Mark Sumner, host of the Channel Chat podcast show, and today I have Gareth Coleman, the director of Apograph in the studio actually, but we're not. We're at the Tottenham Stadium. How are we doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you, Mark. Privileged to be here with SonicWall at the Elevate event. Bit twitchy about being at Tottenham, being a Leicester fan, but we'll get over it, I'm sure. Looking forward to experiencing and hearing what SonicWall have to offer for the next few months. So.
Yeah, as an Arsenal fan, I don't want to be here, but you know what? Saying that though, Gareth, what a facility and what a space they've actually put on. And on that topic, events like this put on by vendors, why is it important to come along to these vendor events? And it's not just SonicWall, it could be any vendor. Why is it important for partners to come along in person and meet them? I
think it's a two-way thing. It's important for us as partners to come to vendor events, mainly to keep up to date with what's emerging, what our vendors are working on, what we can look forward to, and what's newly released. It's also good, I feel, for the vendors to reach out to the partners and get an idea of what's happening out there as well on the ground, because ultimately it's us that's putting the products in place, it's us that's servicing them, us that's managing them. So to have that kind of ability to have that direct communication with a vendor is really important from our standpoint.
And for the listeners that don't know what you do, Apograph, what's the business do?
So Apograph are an MSSP, or a managed services and security provider. So we cover all elements of IT, from hardware procurement through to IT support services, right the way through to full-fledged security stacks, connectivity, phone systems, you name it, we can pretty much put it in.
And let's talk SonicWall. Why do you work with them?
Main reason, ease of use. We service companies literally from Penzance right the way up to Aberdeen and further north. So for us, one of the key drivers is firstly a solution that's secure and protects our clients, but also one that's easy for us to manage and doesn't need a lot of hands-on on the ground at site. We've tried a couple of before, and SonicWall, especially with their NSM platform, it just solves the problem for us. Really easy to manage, really easy to deploy and make changes with very little trouble.
A couple of the other customers I spoke to today said SonicWall is a hot vendor at the moment. They said it's actually a really good technology. What do you think gives them the edge in the market? Why do you pick them over other vendors?
I think a lot of it is ease of deployment, and also they make it accessible. So a lot of the big vendors, I won't mention them, but there's some big vendors that people will know of, that they make it so expensive to get into their architecture. And there's a bit of a gap in that middle sort of SMB, SME ground where they offer the enterprise facilities, but actually do it at a price point that most companies can actually afford to implement. So there's that element for sure. And then, like I said earlier, it's the ease of deployment and ease of use by our technical team in-house.
Now, Gareth, you've recently become a SonicWall partner and joined the Secure First Partner program. What's been your experience of the onboarding process?
We're probably a bit of an unusual case because we were a partner beforehand, but we came back. We saw the light.
Returning partner.
We were a returning partner. So we had a few issues. We went away, and as is the saying, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, and as is always the way, it wasn't. So we came back. However, when we did come back, there had been a lot of changes within SonicWall. The team have been fantastic. The whole process of getting re-onboarded with them has been next level, really. It's been really easy to get in with them, support as and when we need it, and it's not just a case of going through Disty. You can go direct to them as well, which is a bit of a lifesaver, really, when you have those really complex issues that come up and like, we're not sure where to go with this one.
Really? And that relationship's been good?
Yeah, it's been fantastic, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's talk customers. What's been the biggest headache your customers are seeing in the market, and what do they need to fix? Now, I could be talking about existing customers, I could talk about prospects you're dealing with. What's been going on in the market? It
falls down to a couple of things. I think the first one is its lack of awareness of the real world situation we're in at the moment. I mean, as an MSSP, it's been great this year. Well, great's probably the wrong word, but there's been a lot of high-profile incidents this year, and there's still quite a significant one ongoing. That's helped raise the awareness. The issue we've been experiencing is clients just don't understand what they need to do to get around it, really, and protect themselves against it. The other bit is, as I mentioned earlier, is accessibility. SonicWall have a real niche in the fact they've made an enterprise-grade product that's actually fairly easy to access as a small business, and we've been able to replace the vast majority of what we now see as substandard hardware with a SonicWall device. So we're protecting our clients from the very perimeter.
Does those high-profile cases that you mentioned, does that make your job easier to sell to customers? Even though it's a bit of a negative comment to say, but is it easier?
Yes, it is. The trick to it is actually to understand what it is you're going to put into that particular client. Apograph, we have a thing where no client is the same. They all have different needs, whether it's a compliance requirement or a budgetary requirement or a combination. Everyone's different. The recent events have enabled us to actually have those conversations and be potentially a lot more frank than we perhaps would have been. You can be a bit more brutally honest mainly because those clients, new and old, are more receptive to it.
And my final question, Gareth, and you're a good person to ask because you're a returning partner. Has joining the SonicWall Secure Partner program, do you think that's going to contribute to driving revenue for your business in 2026 or enhancing your cyber offering? What's your view on that?
Yes, I mean, we're already actively deploying SonicWall products to all our clients, existing client base anyway,
right.
As part of our MSSP stack and as part of moving to Cybersecurity Awareness Month next month. We've been offering free trials on things like the cloud email security platforms, things like that, managed EDR, XDR platforms. It also enables us to create deals with our other distributor partners as well, where they don't necessarily have a security stack available to them. So, yeah, it's very much an enablement device, for want of a better term. It allows us to approach new business and in ways that we haven't done it before.
Gareth, you've been a great guest. Thanks very much for your time.
Thanks, Mark.
Cheers.